trans man on a mission. And most of you are probably wondering, what's a trans man and what kind of mission could he possibly be on? Well, hold that thought, because first I want to tell you a little bit about myself. Let's see, I was born in Havana, Cuba. Any Cubans out there? I thought we were in Florida. All right. I'm the eldest of 3 siblings, born cross-eyed, slightly autistic, and learning disabled. Really? And if that wasn't enough, I was born in the wrong body. Can you imagine how my family felt? Firstborn ever. A total factory defect. I could just visualize them now, going through the paperwork. Birth certificate, how to feed a baby. Honey, please tell me we got a money-back warranty. Doctor, we want to bring her back. She thinks she's a boy. I tell you, life was rough. You know, wouldn't it be great if we could actually speak as babies? When doctor proudly pronounces us, oh, it's a boy or it's a girl, we could turn around and say, you got it wrong, right? I wrote a book called Fear Makes No Sense, and my first chapter in this book, I actually have a little scenario of the day I was born, so I want to share this with you, all right? Imagine 1964, Havana, Cuba, mother spread eagle, doctor facing her vagina. One last push, Miss Perdomo, you're almost there. Mother sweat poured down her forehead as she attempts her last push. Good job, said Dr. Robles, a man in his 50s, though wrinkles on his forehead express his travels and hard life. Oh, it's a beautiful baby girl. He gently places me on my mother's arms. Mr. and Mrs. Perdomo were delighted. All her fingers and toes were there. She's perfect and healthy, Mr. Perdomo exclaimed as he held little Maritza's hand. I looked around in distress, my big, round, brown eyes popping out of my head.
Wait a minute. Did someone say girl? What girl? Someone must have made a terrible mistake here. Someone must have made a wrong call. He meant boy, a handsome and strong boy. Hey doctor, rewind, tell it again. I'm a boy, not a girl.
All these years inside my heart and in my head, I've seen myself as a boy or man. Yet they said I was born a girl. Imagine that. There were many challenges in my life. Potty training was one of them. I would stand in front of this toilet for hours on end, trying to figure out how to get my stream from going there instead of down there. So I'd go and check out my dad, and I'll see, how does this man do this? Can't be that difficult. Now I go back and try again. Still got it on the floor. So I started to think, you know how kids think, maybe there's a special magic button in my body somewhere that'll make my innie into an outie. So I started hooking and poking, trying to find this button, but to no avail. So I thought, well, maybe it has a time release mechanism. You know, like the turkeys have. When it's ready, it pops out. So every day I tried. This is the day. But still nothing. Now I was getting frustrated and started hearing that song play over and over in my head. Remember the one, Sesame Street song? Which of these things doesn't belong here? Which of these things? Somebody tell me what doesn't belong here. And while you're at it, let's have an exchange. If you're wondering, I changed the words at the end. It wasn't something like that. Well, potty training was challenging, and I finally had to deal with sitting down, or else my mom was going to kill me from all the messes I made. And then came puberty, adolescence. We remember that, right? Great thing about being transsexual, though, we get to have 2 puberties. I got to have 2 anyway. But let's talk about my first one. Remember our face? Pizza face? All the zits, no matter what we use, we never get rid of that. And then we were also uncoordinated. Everything started growing out of proportion. Our arms were bigger than our trunks, one leg bigger than the other, all uncoordinated, but we tried to make it look cool, like an orangutan type of thing. Hey, hi, how you doing there? Remember that? Pretty weird. But one of the things that I can never forget was one morning trying to get up, and you know how hard it is to get up when you're a teenager, you love to sleep. Well, I'm trying, I gotta go to school, so I'm yawning and scratching and itching and doing all stuff, and all of a sudden I go, what the world is this? They weren't there the night before. God, please make them go away. Every night I prayed, but every morning they got bigger and bigger. And if that wasn't enough, one day, walking home from school, orangutan himself, and I'm walking in, all of a sudden I started feeling these really bad cramps, followed by this god-awful smell. What's that? And then I started to feel this wetness in between the bloomers my mom would make me wear. So I rushed home, get to the bathroom all frustrated and pain, and oh God, what is this? Pulled down the bloomers, sat down on the toilet, and screamed. Mom comes running in. Hija, ¿qué pasó? Which means, daughter, what's wrong? I was in such shock, all I could do was point at the bloomers. As I'm dying here, Mom's laughing, giggling, smile ear to ear.
Oh, you're a woman now.
Bite your tongue, lady. You're telling me I have to deal with this. She proceeds to hand me this huge oversized napkin and says,
Put this between your legs.
I knew that moment on, God hated women. Then, I knew that moment. 5 days of bleeding, PMS, cramp, and craving, all for what? Because Eve ate from that forbidden fruit. Okay, help me out here, but didn't Adam take a few bites of that fruit too?
Okay.
Alright? We don't see men walking around spewing blood out of their peckers. Hey, Eve, let me borrow that tampon, please. None of that. No. And while we're on that subject, I have a few bones to pick with our maker upstairs. Hey, you. Next time you're creating, pay attention. Brain match with the genitals. Alright? It's very simple, you know? Also, if you didn't want Eve to eat from that fruit, you shouldn't have planted the tree. You should know better than to tempt women with food. You should have said, thou shalt not have sex for 7 days. We wouldn't be in the predicament we're in today, right? Oh, I tell you, religion. There's a couple of verses in the Bible. You know, they say God is all-knowing and loving, and I'm very spiritual and I love God, but the Bible kind of confuses me at times. There's a part in the Bible that says, Adam, where are you?
Lord, I'm hiding. I'm naked.
Adam, did you eat from that fruit? Now time out. The only man in the world, and God can't find him. Adam, where are you? He should have known he was going to eat that fruit before he bit to it. He's God. I never understood that. Well, anyway, enough of that joke. That was my first time doing stand-up comedy, but I want to get a little emotional here and say my mission is I want the world to look at us with different eyes. Eyes of compassion and understanding. I want people to realize that being transsexual is not a sin, a crime, nor is it deviant behavior. We are a hormonal imbalance created at 8 weeks' time inside our mother's womb. Because of this, there are hate crimes, suicides, family breakups, and overall bigotry amongst religious groups. All we ask is for respect, to be able to mend our birth defects, to have doctors help us along the way and make us whole again. Remember this. God created all living creatures, and as one of God's creation, I stand before this world and plead, please stop hating and start understanding. Open up your hearts and your minds and realize we are God's children too. Amen.
Amen.